you need to have an output where you're creating an object, something that you can leave behind. Like a memento for future generations and for the future to really see the kind of person you are and that you were. My name is Michael Dote, and I'm a photographer and filmmaker, and I'm also a fencing coach. Always obsessed with swords and Power Rangers and heroes. So like the first chance I got, I dressed in all white and started swashbuckling. Recently I've come back to the sport after being away for 8 years. I was away for 8 years because I have schizophrenia, and it manifested about 8 years ago. And it took me out of the sport, it took me out of life in general. Yeah, I ended up in the hospital and jail after that. I spent about 2 weeks in jail and about 4 months in a psychiatric hospital.
It was his birthday, I found out. I didn't know where he was. He was missing. We were calling police stations. We were looking all over the city for him.
Yeah, I started to think that there was a conspiracy from Google to keep me kind of in one place. And I thought that I was at the center of this battle between Google and the government, the central figure in this conflict.
Think about touching me till you find my blood. Beautiful.
And immediately following that, thought I was going to be killed by John McCain for supporting Obama. Hearing the voice and thinking that it was another person, tried to flee the country, tried to buy a plane ticket cash to China with no ID. After hours at LaGuardia.
He was out of sorts. He was, in his delusional state. And I knew that wasn't my son. I knew it was somebody else.
I think he was really happy when we first moved in together, even though it was a really small place in Lower East Side. And when we first moved in together, I think he was very happy. Yeah, because he loves me, loved me, so yeah.
So the original medication I was first prescribed was called Zyprexa, or olanzapine is the generic. It caused me to gain 60 pounds in the first 3 months of the medication. Slowed my metabolism down. All I did was eat, sleep, mope around, and occasionally go to the bathroom. Caused a fair degree of damage also to my liver, I'm sure. It was really not the right med for me, but the doctor in Bellevue had a Zyprexa clipboard, and a Zyprexa mug, and a Zyprexa pen, and probably a Zyprexa paycheck. Abilify 20. This is the generic apropozole. There's a foot cream because I'm dealing with some issues on my feet. Benadryl for the dystonic reaction I get. Also codeine I'm going to be getting as well. My eyes sometimes roll up when I've had a very long day. A leaf, just in case for headaches. Lotion and valerian root, which is a natural solution to help sleep.
I feel like sometimes what he believes is nothing wrong about that. Because if you really talk to him, interview with him about what's going on in his brain, that is logical. So at that period of time, I feel like I was in between, between the reality or the reality that he created because this is my first time encounter this kind of thing in my life. So I also learning to get to know him and then to know this kind of illness. And the most hardest part is I feel like I was in between the reality he created.
Well, photography really helped me once I left the hospital. You know, all I had left after the hospital, I lost my job coaching fencing. I lost a lot of my friends. I had no money to speak of, but I had a laptop, a MacBook, and a camera, Canon, and a couple lenses. And I was just using those things to really rebuild my life.
He's very passionate about what he does. So he's very, very good with lighting, and then very good with interacting with people, and to really bring out the true self of a deaf person who's in front of the camera.
I love taking photos of people, and I love to make them look heroic. I like to dramatically light people in such a way that they really are larger than life. With my mother, I photographed her mastectomy scars in the studio, and it was a really powerful moment for me.
First time I had actually seen the print was larger than myself, and it was the date that Whitney Houston had passed away. I had the print in the apartment here, and I never mourned the loss of my breasts. And at that time, I just broke down and I cried.
And it was one of those things where I really just deeply wanted people to experience the same kind of suffering and the same kind of strength through adversity that my whole family has been through.
Usually people would think people have this kind of illness, people are crazy, people might be dangerous sometimes, but Mike is a little bit different from what normal people would think of this kind of illness.
I've had it pretty good with schizophrenia. You know, like every so often I will get paranoid or delusional, but I've been pretty consistent with medication. But the worst thing I think about it is that people will look at you in a funny way as soon as you mention the name of the illness. You know, it's an immediate stigma that I think really has to be addressed.
You know, my message is, you know, schizophrenia or any type of disorder can be not cured, but with help of individuals and help of people surrounding you will help the individuals in order to help heal them and to help them with their future of their lives. You know, it should be detected at a younger age. It shouldn't be overlooked. It should be looked over. Rock star, damn right you are, because we're young and pretty in New York City. Stocks are moving up and the stocks are moving down, but you got it all covered because you're an atomic supersonic lover living under the covers, because you're young and pretty in New York City. We all come here to grab the diamond ring, being superstars, achieving great things, striving to new heights like the Freedom Towers. We all within hold that special power. Watch out, world. Here we